Hey there guys, welcome to Friday and another time lapse here on the channel, of course. I'm going to be doing another Invader Zim time lapse on the channel here. And last time I did Gur a while back, I think it was probably close to a month and a half, 2 months ago. And I'm actually going to work on a Zim time lapse, as you can see here. This one's going to use a lot of layering and a lot of puzzle decoration. It's kind of going to be a complex combination of the two, because it's all going to be layering decoration in the fact that it's all going to be put on this black piece that I'm cutting out now, but at the same time it's actually going to be a puzzle decoration because I'm going to have to fit all these images together, and you can see all the different pieces I'm going to have to do eventually here. So there's the black outline there. I'm going to peel that up and apply it right to the top here. I cut off his antenna and his feet because those can easily be, applied onto that piece, which I'm going to do right now. So working on that next. I'm going to use a little bit of that HD clear packaging tape just to make sure everything looks nice. Kind of hold all that paper down while I'm cutting it out. So those are going to be his feet, and I'm just going to apply those right onto the board in a second there. Been getting a lot of people were telling me that the time lapses were getting a little too easy, a little too simple, so I decided to make this one a little bit longer and a little more complex. And there's no Sharpie or permanent marker used in this one, which is what I've been using for the past 3 weeks or so, just to kind of give you guys an idea on all the cool things you can do with the Sharpie or the permanent marker. So those are his antenna there, and we're going to be cutting those in half so that I can apply one at a time, and you can see those right there. And this will complete the entire black outline of the character, and then I can start working on the different colors for the inside. And I'll be doing that in just a few seconds here. So there's one antenna, here's a second one, and this one crosses over the first. So kind of just get an idea of where to stick that down, and there's a tiny little piece right about there. Alright, so now time to work on his face first. There's actually two colors for his face. You can kind of tell it's kind of like a darker green, and that's partially because of the shadow. So what I have to do is I can either, make it two different colors, the light green and the dark green, or I can just, make it all one giant color. So I decided to just make it all one giant green color here. Now I'm not going to do it all in one piece, as you can see, because I have to fit all of his eyes and all the other pieces into this. So I'm going to work on it piece by piece. There's his eye right there. Decided to go with the maroon color here. And his irises are kind of like a light pink color, not quite as bright pink as the hot pink I'm using here, but they'll definitely look pretty cool once I stick them on. And he's got two of them. Well, he is an alien after all, so you have the large one there, and there's a tiny little one right about there. So I'm going to peel this entire thing up, and here's the tricky part, because if you don't cut it out exactly the same, it's not going to have that black border all the way around. So you can kind of do a little bit of trimming just to make sure that it is more of a perfect circle than you originally cut it out. But you kind of just have to work with that. So there's the second piece on the left side, and I just need to connect this together. Next piece I'm going to work on is his other eye, because that's the next piece if we're going in kind of like a clockwise direction here, and kind of just applying it from there. Same deal here, just the maroon tape. You got that giant oval there, and of course the two bright pink pieces for the inside. Alrighty, so we're getting close towards the end of the time lapse here. We're moving right along. Maybe not close to the end, but we're definitely working on it here. So there's the one giant piece, the small one. Now I'm going to stick that right in the center, and you can tell there's a nice black outline right around it because I cut it smaller than that opening. And I'm going to work on his chin here, and there's a kind of like a little loop that goes around the side of his jaw, and that kind of attaches to the rest of the image there. So that's going to be peeled up and stuck right on the canvas here. And the next part will be his teeth. And that was probably the hardest part of the entire time lapse, because as you can tell there's two different white pieces and kind of like a black squiggle line in between. I have really two options here. I can cut out two different white pieces because the background is black, so I can just cut out two white pieces, or I can cut out one giant white piece and then cut out a black squiggle and then stick that on top of the white background. But what I decided to do is just cut out two different pieces. It was probably harder to do it that way, but you know, it's always easier when you look back on it than when you're actually doing it. So now there's that kind of squiggle line in the center. I just took a little while to cut that out, but if I had showed it to you, it probably would have taken an extra couple minutes. It took a long time to get it out. So there's the top part of the teeth. There's the bottom. You can do a little bit of trimming to make sure it looks nicer. Now I'm going to work on part of his clothing here. It's kind of like a lightish purplish color, but I decided to go with purple here. Probably could have used the maroon color as well, but I decided to make it slightly different from his eyes. So I'm using that purple color. And I'm just going to peel that up and stick those down onto the canvas here. So sticking those on. It's kind of like a pyramid. Starts at the bottom and then goes all the way up. So sticking those on now. Alright, so next he's got kind of like one of his arms, or it's kind of like one of his gloves, and he's got this tiny little backpack or something on his back. I'm not really sure. I've never actually seen the show. I've watched a few little segments of it on YouTube just to get an idea of what I was doing, but I've never seen the show. I think it's like a backpack or something like that. But it kind of looks like a Koopa shell from Super Mario Brothers in a kind of weird way. So here's a few extra pieces. All these kind of interlock with some black border lines in between. And you can see those kind of on there. This is kind of like his collar, and then there's part of his arm. This is, I think, a part of his glove. That little kind of almost looks like his tail. That's actually his fingers, which are holding him down. He's kind of got his arms on his sides, but you can only see the one arm. So here's a little bit of the chrome tape to kind of just get an idea of what his backpack is. I think it's kind of like a silver or chrome. Sticking that on, and then I have two little pink pieces which will be stuck onto that in between. So just sticking that on really carefully. Oh, you know what? I think it actually went out of 4 times speed for some reason. This is on normal speed. Oh well, that's okay. You guys can get an idea of the real time, how long it takes. So just sticking those on, making sure it lines up appropriately. Yeah, this is a lot slower than it usually is, but whatever, still works. And they're just going to stick that right on towards the top there. So there's the Invader Zim time-lapse featuring Zim. Hopefully you guys liked the video, and I'll catch you next time on the channel. I think it looks pretty cool, so hope you liked it. And of course, there'll be some more videos coming soon.